Welcome to episode 39 of the Arctic Crafts podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a group for this podcast on Ravelry. Just search for Arctic Crafts podcast and you'll find it. There we have knit-alongs giveaways, and I have a year-long knit-along going in the group for anything and everything knit or crocheted or weaved with my yarn. The reason why I'm making sure that you know that it's just not knitting is because I have been calling it a knit-along all this time, but it's of course a make-along. I'm just so used to talking about knitting. Even though I crochet myself, I totally called it a knit-along. So it's a make-along, and if you have used my yarn for the color work in a sweater and the main color in the sweater is with someone else's yarn, feel free to add it. The next prize drawing in that knit-along is the last day of September. I think it's the 30th. I always struggle to remember. I always remember that February has 28 or 29 days, and I of course know that December has 31. So the last day of September. Anyway, I've had a really busy couple of weeks because I have 2 exciting things happening. One of them is that there's a yarn shop, or it's not a yarn shop as such, it's a studio/shop opening in Svolvær, and the lady opening it is an amazing creative young lady called Tora, and she wanted to have my yarn in her shop, and I'm so excited and thrilled to be able to show my yarn and perhaps sell some of it locally. The other exciting thing happening is that me and JibbyRooSews, I talk about her a lot because I love her bags, she agreed to do a collaboration with me, so we have a Halloween kit coming. I'm dyeing yarn and she's making bags. It's a sock set with a sock bag, and she's sending me the prototype, and hopefully it arrives today because we're kind of late to the party when it comes to Halloween, and most of my customers are in the US and Canada, so hopefully we get things sorted in time for Halloween. She's going to sell 5 sets in her shop, and I'm going to sell 5 sets in mine. The reason why we are cautious with the numbers, it's because mainly because I'm a small batch dyer and I don't have a lot of sales in my shop. I'm not that well now yet, let's hope. So that's why we did it like that. If it's a success and if we sell out, we'll probably make more for Christmas. And yes, she's also agreed to do a Christmas collaboration with me. So sorry about that. My camera decided to stop working. But I think I was finished talking about the collaboration. And I have one more important announcement to make before I start with the podcast itself. The winner from the 500 subscribers giveaway hasn't contacted me yet. It's been 2 weeks, and the winner's name was Wenche Viting. And if you don't contact me until the next episode, I will have to draw a new winner. So please get back to me with your details. And now we can get into the knitting content. We can start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Everyday Tee by Twin Stitches design. And as the name says, it's a tee, so it's not supposed to have long sleeves, but I'm running hot, so I can't wear a knitted t-shirt. So I knit it with 3/4 sleeves, and now it's perfect to use for autumn. And the yarn I've used is my new base, Natural Boo, 80% merino, 20% bamboo. And if you want to know more about this base or any other base, I just put out a bonus episode called All About the Base. I know. It's kind of a pun. It's going to be a lot of editing today, people. I have cats, I have a phone I forgot to put on silent mode, so, and the light is going everywhere, so be prepared for kind of a hot mess. But all my episodes are kind of a hot mess, so you know what you're getting. If this is your first time, welcome to the party. I always forget to say that. Welcome to new viewers and welcome back to the people subscribing. I always forget to say things like that. I have enough of a monologue at the start I feel, and now I'm rambling again. But anyway, this is I was saying about the bases, about my bonus episodes. So I knit this really quickly, and this yarn is so soft, and I love this sweater. I would probably knit another one, but I already have 3 ranunculuses, is that a word? And a love note. So I have several sweaters that look like this. But I might be knitting more sweaters in this yarn because it's really soft, and the bamboo content it doesn't feel as warm as a 100% wool sweater. It might be my imagination, but it doesn't feel that warm. For people in their 50s, it's nice to not have too warm sweaters. I have a fan blowing my way as we speak because I'm wearing wool. And I wanted to wear something knitted in today's episode. I think there's nothing much more to say about this. I have a project page for it, as I have for all my projects in Ravelry, so you can find, if there's something I've forgotten, you can find it there. And because I've had a busy couple of weeks with lots of dyeing, and it's dyeing I won't be showing you that, partly because it's not dry yet, some of it, and also because it's not going into my shop, so I can't see the reason why I'm showing it to you, because you won't be able to buy it anyway. I'm showing you some of the yarn later that I dyed for this collaboration with Tora in Svolvær. But that's because some of the yarn is going into my shop, because she has a large online following, so she wanted me to have some of the yarn in my shop as well, because I made 2 signature colors for her. And I was going to talk about my FOs, but I this is me. I haven't had enough coffee, or maybe I had too much coffee. And I'm a bit anxious because my oldest son is going to the southern part of Norway today, because one of his cousins is being confirmated this weekend. Normally confirmations in Norway is in spring, but we all know why they were cancelled and postponed until the autumn. Thing is, it's the southern part of Norway that has the most cases of COVID, and he's also going by plane, so he's going to spend some time at airports. All the Norwegian what you call them in English? I suddenly drew a blank here. But all the airlines, that was the word I was looking for. All the airlines have it's mandatory to wear a mask from the time you board the plane until you get off. He's been wearing a mask all the time in the airport. Partly because he knows his mother is paranoid, and partly because he wants to be safe, I guess. We're kind of stressed out at the moment because of the COVID situation, because we're surrounded by places with outbreaks, and this municipality of Hadsel is kind of like an island in the sea of outbreaks. So it's just a matter of time, I guess. So I keep wearing a mask when I go to the supermarket, even though I get some strange looks. And I rambled on again. Hot mess, so sorry. This is a knitting podcast, not a COVID podcast. So we'll get into my FOs, shall we? The first one, I knit with a kit that my good friend Sue in Canada, yes, I know, she gets a lot of airtime. She also has a podcast. It's called Distant Stitches. Distant because she's doing it with her friend Liz, and they live in different parts of Canada, so they Zoom their podcasts. I recommend that podcast because they are really talented, both of them, and Sue sent me this kit, and it was a kit for Joji Locatelli's Odyssey. It's blowing out, sorry. I was blowing out because this is a really dark color. If I keep it there, you can see the colors. The yarn is called Estelle Double Knit. Wasn't that it? Estelle Yarns Double Knit. And the pattern, I already had the pattern because this is a free pattern from Joji Locatelli, and as soon as she put it out, published a free pattern, I got it straight away. And the sun is coming in through the window, so suddenly we became very bright. So maybe I'll just take a break while the sun is going behind that cloud. I don't mind the sun, but I don't like it when it interrupts my podcasting. I had to do this early in the day today because we're going shopping when hubby's finished at work, and I wanted to record and edit this before he gets home. So, but this episode is going to be interesting, I think. Anyway, I have one more FO to show you, and this is also has to do with Sue, kind of, because she went to Knit City in 2018. That was the first Knit City Vancouver since me and Sue became friends, and she agreed to be my personal shopper. So I sent her some money, and I told her I wanted enough. I wanted 3 skeins, coordinating skeins for a shawl. I didn't mind which dyer it was, and I wanted a skein of gauge dye works. And she bought concrete and tulips. And I have been hoarding this skein because it has been very precious to me, because it's gauge dye works, and who knows if I'm ever going to be able to purchase another skein of gauge dye works. I just knit vanilla socks because I wanted the yarn to shine. And as you can see, the legs are much longer than I normally knit on my socks. But I wanted to get all the stripes in. I still have a little bit left over. I think it's enough for 2 fingerless mitts, and I'm going to knit those so I can wear something that's actually people can see, because I'm not sure I can afford to use these socks. So I'm going to hoard the socks, but I have at least used the yarn. So my Gauge Dye Works socks. And that's it for FOs, because I've been busy dyeing, and when I haven't been dyeing in the evenings, of course, but I've been so exhausted, so I haven't knitted a lot. I just knit on the Odyssey shawl while I was working on that, and it took a bit of time, so we could just as well start with works in progress. I also have a work in progress I can't show you because it's a mystery knit along. It's the Sharon Show by Casapinka. So I won't be able to show you that until it's finished. But I'm knitting a sweater. I'm not sure when this will be finished, but I'm kind of knitting on it every evening. It's for my oldest son, because he loved my whatever sweater so much. He also wanted a scrappy sweater, and I'm knitting him the no frills because I feel like the no frills it's not fitted or anything, so it works for a man. And this is how far I've gotten. And I have the stripes on this are narrower than on my whatever. And as you can see, it's really colorful. I asked him, is there any color that is off limits? No, everything goes. So I have loads and loads of this yarn. It's mainly Drops Charisma in this sweater. That's what I'm using for this. And I'm knitting this on a size 4mm needle. And my gauge is a bit off, so I'm knitting this one size smaller than I normally would, because he doesn't want it to be fitted, but he doesn't want it to be oversized either. So I think this is going to be perfect for him. And it's what I did at the top. I used the same color as for the ribbing until I was finished with the short rows, because it doesn't look, the stripes are narrower further down, but on the other hand I couldn't do stripes in this area anyway, so that's why I start the stripes a bit further down. I just had to do it like this. And that's the No Frills by Petite Knit. And then I have one more whip to show you. One of my new colorways is called Carrot Cake, and I put quite a lot of carrot cake into the shop in my last update, and I decided to make sock sets with it. I'm going to show you the sock sets later in show and tell, but so this is a whole. This is the first sock. The second sock I'm just at the ribbing, so it's nothing much. But I have one sock finished, and this is the Carrot Cake sock sets. That's going into the shops on Sunday. I might knit myself a sweater in this, because I really love the colors. It's kind of autumnal, I guess. Trying to make it focus. Because this episode is a hot mess already, so the camera doesn't want to focus, of course. Please focus. No, doesn't want to. I think that's a typical thing for podcasters. Us holding things up to the camera and telling it to focus. So that's been my knitting for the last couple of weeks. I have it's been kind of hot as well, so I've been knitting on a sock because the sweater for my oldest son is in heavier wool, so it's kind of hot to knit in. I have been wanting to cast something else on, but I'm going to finish at least one of the bigger projects first. I don't feel like I can cast on another sweater until I've finished at least one of the 2 sweaters I'm working on. Excuse me. This is turning out to be quite the episode. I might as well check my show notes so I don't forget anything. I've shown you I've shown you my FOs, I've shown you my whips, and I've talked a lot about things that have nothing to do about knitting. And this is future Bente. I'm sitting here editing the podcast and I realized I forgot something rather important. My Arctic Seasons Autumn edition is being put out in the shop on September 1st. And the deadline is September 15th, so only 15 days. And that's kind of an important thing to mention for you because September 1st is only a few days away. So, Arctic Seasons Autumn Edition, September 1st. It's going to be one skein of my sock yarn and some surprise extras. And now we can get back to the programming. I was hoping this wouldn't be a really long episode, so maybe I should just go ahead and, sorry about that, I have to pull this to me. I have this really wobbly thing beside me that I'm going to put my yarn on. So this is what I've been dyeing that's actually going into my shop, and it's not much. The first thing I'm going to show you are the 2 colorways that I dyed up for Tora in Svolvær. She loves pink and orange and red, and why not together? I wouldn't think of mixing those 3 colors, but it doesn't look too bad, does it? And this colorway is called Tora. And because she has, I was saying, because she has a following online, she wanted people that follow her on YouTube and Instagram to be able to get the yarn online. And my camera is not cooperating today, not at all. It's not focusing on anything. Ah, there you go. This is what it looks like. It's sort of a kind of a peachy pink with red and orange speckles. So that's Tora. And the other colorway, she wanted something yellow, and yellow with pink speckles. I thought, And again, it works. So that's what happens when you think out of the box. This yellow is kind of more of a yellow than it shows up on camera, but it's a kind of it's a tonal yellow with bright pink speckles. And this is called Pippihuset. And you probably know who Pippi Longstocking is, or Pippi Langstrømpe, as she's called in Norwegian. And Tora's podcast is called Pippihuset. So that's why this. She is also having this as a sock set in her shop. But I'm not doing the sock sets, I'm only doing the full skeins. She's having it on several bases. Mine are platinum sock. Both Tora and Pippihuset are on platinum sock. And I was talking about the carrot cake sock sets. And this is it. It's also going into my shop on Sunday. And one more thing going into the shop on Sunday is this. Because this DK base is going out of my shop, I'm going to only have the DK with the nylon in it. I just dyed up a sweater quantity of mustard. I have other colorways on this base in my shop, so if you wanted a sweater with color work, I suggest you just go into my shop and check if you see something that would work with this, or you could of course use something from your stash if you want a different color. But I dyed up this color as part of my Fall Symphony mini set, and I thought, that looks a lot like my antique gold, but not quite. And I decided to retire my antique gold and just dye up this instead, because I like this color better than antique gold. It's kind of, it's more of a gold, even though antique gold. But this is more of a semi-solid, and antique gold is more of a tonal. So I decided to switch, and I'm calling this one mustard, of course, because it's a mustard yellow. And that's and I've had an acquisition, and we're back with to JibbyRooSews again, because she also sells masks, and I ordered 2, and this is the mask I'm using, of course, because it's Harry Potter. It's the Marauders map, I think it's called in English. And we have this floral one. And because I insist on using the Harry Potter one, hubby has to use the floral one. And because we're not wearing masks that often, but only when we're going to the shops, we don't have to use masks every time we leave the house. I only ordered the 2, one for each of us. And you're supposed to wash these on a high temperature after every use. But then Sue told me that if you use the steam iron on the hottest setting, that does the trick. So that's what I do. Every time we've used these, and when we get home, I get out my iron and I steam them on the highest setting. I have more masks on the way in the mail, again from Sue. She has made us, I think it's 4 masks each. Mine are patterned and hubby's are in solid colors. I haven't got a lot more to tell you, except that you probably noticed that my intro was rather long today, and that's because my oldest son, the one I'm knitting the sweater for, is a musician, and he's making music, and he made me a song to use, or he made this song, and I loved it, and I told him, can I please use it on the podcast? And he said okay. So it's a song I could of course in edit I could just shorten it or fade it out or something, but I like it so much, so the first time I used this song I wanted to use the entire song. So that's why my intro was longer than usual. And that's it. I'm all finished now. And I can repeat at the end of the episode that please, Wenche Viting, contact me. If you don't, I'm going to have to draw a new winner for the 500 subscriber giveaway in the next episode. And if you think that this hot mess can get even hotter, feel free to support me on Ko-fi, so I can so I have the extra money for mailing out prizes, and perhaps I can even afford a better camera that doesn't just shut down on me. So until I see you, the next time. And then I remembered I forgot to tell you something else. I won't edit this because this episode is starting to be kind of ridiculous anyway. So I'm going to do Vlogtober. I kind of wanted to do it because I like doing Vlogmas, but then again, Halloween isn't a big thing in Norway, so it kind of feels a bit strange to do Vlogtober, but why not? It's a thing. So I'm going to do Vlogtober, and it won't be a lot of Halloween stuff in it, but you get to see what I'm up to in October. And now I'm finally finished. The epilogue lady is going to switch off the camera, edit this thing, and I hope you have a nice weekend and that you're staying safe and healthy. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.